Hello YouTube family, welcome back to Simz Vidz for another video. I know, I have not posted in I think over a month. Sim has been going through it. Life has been lifing. But I am back and I just want to say thank you so much to my subscribers that has stuck with me this far. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do hope though that we will pick up more subscribers along the way. In this video, I decided to tell you about my business Sateri, how I created it, how I came up with that name. So first off, I did have another business before my present business, and I was basically baking. I would bake things like cakes, birthday cakes, like I worked with fondant. I would make cakes, cupcakes, cake pops, cookies. I would also do drinks like carrot juice, West Indian style, sorrel. Christmas time, I would make black cake. And I didn't stop there. I even, dibbled and dabbled a bit with decor. But that is not where my heart really was, even though baking was very therapeutic for me at the time. Like when I got in a zone, I got in a zone. And I did do some cakes that end result I myself was impressed with. But as you know, it came to a point where my motivation was just slipping away because I would make these cakes. It would take me hours, sometimes days, to make like a birthday cake. And people did not want to pay. And my prices were nothing compared to if you went to an actual cake place, because I would tell people I was self-taught. It wasn't a trade that I learned. It was basically on my own creativity. And I was getting people that were actually buying my cakes, but as I said, they didn't want to pay. So that kind of went down the drain. And then there was one day, I remember I was talking to my sister and I was saying to her, I really have an interest in like creating stuff like t-shirts and tumblers. And she was saying, you should go for it. How are you going to know if it's something that you truly enjoy if you don't actually do it? I needed the Cricut, which is the machine that cuts the vinyl in order to put on the tumbler or the t-shirt. And I needed an iPad. And I didn't have those things at the time. But I would just sit down in my room and come up with designs and stuff like that. And my sister was so supportive. She made me believe that I could do anything. There was no stopping. And when she passed, things just became very different for me. I started to see who was fake from who was real. And unfortunately, along the way, I had more fake people around me than I had real. And that was very hurtful. It was very hurtful. with my sister, there was no disappointment. And I've said this in a previous video that I made. With her, there was no disappointment. I didn't have to second guess. I didn't have to beg her to be around me. I never had to chain call her to speak with me. Like nothing, not to say that I do those things, but I'm just using those things as examples. Like, even though she was younger, she was just an amazing sister, an amazing daughter, amazing auntie. Her friends spoke highly of her. She was loved by family and friends. Amazing cousin. And the list goes on. But when she passed, as I said, things got real. And that is when my reality became clear. But I was still wanting to create my own business, but I just didn't know what to name it. And then it's like a light switch just went off in my head, and I'm like, I'm gonna name it Sateri. Why Sateri? That was my sister's African name. She belonged to an Afrocentric group, Oseraset. And it was her community that gave her the name Sateri Shems Amen. It does have a meaning. I'm gonna let you in on that one. I had to go in my phone and go back like 5 years ago in a text that I was having with a very close friend of hers, because she was the one that actually told me what the meaning of her name meant at the time when she passed. I just felt that naming my business after my sister was just fitting. And actually, I need my glasses. Let me read to you what her name meant. So, Sateri Shems Amen means one who receives the magical strength from God by following the ways of heaven. Honestly, people, that name couldn't be more fitting. Whoever gave her that name was right on point. Right on point. So when I decided to name my business after her, I had to figure out how I was going to get the machine that I needed and an iPad. So every time I think about this, I get so emotional. Her friend, one of her friends, actually came by to my mother's house, and my mother called me and said that I had a visitor. When I came downstairs, there my sister's friend was with the Cricut machine. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was just so grateful. My heart was so full, because I could not believe that her friend, who only met me shortly after she passed. So it's not to say that I knew her friend before. Her friend went out of her way and bought me the Cricut machine solely off of a conversation that we had when I was telling her I wanted to build a business and make t-shirts and tumblers. Even though I said it back then when it happened, I want to take the opportunity to say it again. Usha, thank you so much for what you did for me. Words can never begin to describe how grateful I am. And just you doing what you did for me, words can never begin to say how thankful I am still to this day. Because if it wasn't for you, that machine would have taken some time for me to get. So thank you so much. I also want to say thank you to my daughter who bought me the iPad for Mother's Day that year. And once I had the iPad and the Cricut, there was no stopping me. So I started to create. This is actually one of my t-shirts that I made. I have two parts to my business. One part where I do personalized stuff, and then I have a yard culture clothing part where I put Jamaican proverbs, Jamaican sayings like Nosa, goody, turn up, unruly, stuff like that, you know? So that's part of my yard culture part. Right now, I'm trying to build on my craft and just trying to get more knowledge and more experience, because there's so much that I want to learn to do. I don't want to stop at just t-shirts and tumblers, but because right now I've mastered those things, I'm going to stick with what I know I can give results with. But Usha, thanks again so much. And to my daughter, thank you so much. You both made my dream become a reality with creating my business, Sateri. So, my main goal with my business is just to make quality products, and whoever orders a product from me, I just want them to be satisfied. Like, I love seeing a client's reaction after I've finished what they've ordered. I love seeing that reaction, because their reaction gives me more motivation to continue doing what I'm doing. At one point, I did have to put Sateri down for a bit because things were just becoming very, very, very emotional for me. And I just had to get it together, and then I started creating again. So right now, the goal is to build up my client base. And for those of you who would like to see some of the stuff that I have done this far, you can go over to Instagram at Sateri _. Once again, over on Instagram at Sateri _. One of the reasons why I created Sateri also is because my sister was a person that wanted to do back for her community. And I'm hoping that I could bring Sateri to a level where I could eventually create a scholarship program and send Black youth to university or college. I also want to do other things, like doing things back home in my country, the country that I love, Jamaica. I would love to do maybe like a kids treat where I give school supplies or even help with school tuition there as well. I have so many dreams and aspirations for Sateri, and I'm just hoping that I can bring this business to the level that I want to, so I can fulfill all these dreams that I have. And I know that it's not going to come easy, but I'm willing to work hard in order to get where I need to be so I can do the things that I want to do. I just want Sateri just to be a company that people could take pride in ordering the product and being satisfied with the product. Yeah, that's just it. I'm just trying to base Sateri off of the person who I named it from. And I just want Sateri to be just as upstanding as my sister was. Thank you so much, my YouTube family, for taking this time out with me and listening to how my business, Sateri, became a thing. Going to try to be as consistent as I can, but for my loyal subscribers, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a coworker. Let's just get it out there. Simz Vidz on YouTube. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.